IDPs sheltering in Lakati 23 public school say that the discontinuation of food aid by international aid organizations is a reckless move that puts millions in danger. Nugusti Aragawi and Fraweni Gabra Mikhail are mothers who are currently sheltering in the center along with their families. Nugusti was displaced from Tsagade, while Fraweni was displaced from Rawian. They both traveled miles from western Tigray to seek shelter at the capital, Magala. They say that the aid they used to get was not adequate to feed their children, and now, with the discontinuation of aid on place, they say they're faced with grave danger.
We came here empty-handed. We used to eat whatever they gave us every 3 or 4 months after arriving here. We couldn't even sell our rations because they gave us 15 kilograms of grain or wheat flour every 3 or 4 months. That wasn't enough for our consumption, let alone for sale. We were starving and suffering due to malnutrition and other lack of food-induced illnesses. And now we're losing this. Our fate is only death, as starvation is a silent killer.
ተሰሚዕና ማለት ነው ምንታይ ተዘውዚ ዘሎ ተፈናቃላይ ኣብ ጥሜትን ኣብ ችግርን እዩ ዘሎ
We were deeply saddened to learn about the news because since we arrived here we were barely receiving enough aid. It wasn't enough. They used to give us every 4 or 5 months. We have chronic disease patients and children with us. We were happy thinking that we have survived. The awful times with the signing of peace deal and everything. We were hoping to return back home soon as well. But the discontinuation of aid was a bad news to hear. We are starving to lose hope.
ብዙሕ ሓሳባት ኢና ሓሲብና ማለት ካብቲ ቋሪፀ ዝብል ምግብ ዓለም ትህዝቢን ባዕሉ ኣብ ሕማቅ ኩነታት እዩ ዘሎ
The IDPs tell us that they don't think discontinuation of aid is a solution. They say international organizations should have worked together with the government to isolate the thieves without having to starve millions in need.
They should have assessed the situation closely on the ground, investigate where the aid is going, and hold the thieves accountable. But stopping the aid is not a solution. It's a death sentence for us. We have children with us. We can't tell them to skip a meal because we don't have any. They don't understand. They're just kids. صبحان خي قرسكم مشات كدرر يزبر قلعت حزنا زلنا عبر سبرس قلعت ناوي ندوريهم حزم صانت زي
ያው ምስ መንግስት ተነጋጊሩ እቶም ዝወሰዱ ወይ ደሞ እቶም ሰሪኦም ዝውሎም አካላት
They should have worked closely with the government to isolate the thieves and hold them accountable without putting us at risk. I think the best solution would have been to investigate the situation.
እቶም ጽራዩን ጎና ጎኒ ይማጸለ ነይሩ ኢልና ኢና ንሕና ንሐሶ ከምና ይዓልና ንወስዶ ማለት እዩ
The IDPs called on the federal government, the interim administration of Tigray, and international aid organizations to work closely with each other to solve the problem as fast as possible. They also suggested that a permanent solution would be to return back to their homes in western Tigray.
We wouldn't even be having this conversation if we hadn't been forced to leave our home in western Tigray. The permanent solution is to help us get back to our land so that we can help ourselves. We need the Amhara and Eritrean forces out of our land because staying here without any kind of aid is, like I said, a death sentence.